Hey, I'm Patrick Ellerman, aka PG-13 Hockey Man. I'm at the Wild preseason game against the Jets, and you're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. This is a video that's been long in the making. I kind of teased it a couple of months ago, probably about 4 months ago, and I had my jerseys kind of lined up in the previous order of my favorite teams to like 1 to 10.
All right.
And I asked people for their predictions if they would change at all, because roughly a year and a half ago I released a video talking about my favorite NHL teams ranked 1 to 31. So I wanted to see if people would think that they'd change it all. Now, lots of people left their comments. Now you can go back and check that video and see if you were right after you watch this one. But I'm going to do it all over again. The teams have changed. I'm going to 1 to 31, my favorite. Actually, I'm going to go 31 to 1, my least favorite to favorite. And I've done it a little differently. I've split them into letter grades, into different categories. There's 5 different categories: A, B, C, D, and F. A, B, C, D, and F. Yes, I skipped.
What? There's no E?
Yeah, I skipped E because F means like fail.
Oh, okay.
Like
so D
letter
is
grades.
like
Yeah.
you have a pulse.
Yeah, I'll explain
But,
kind of what they mean a little bit.
All right. Now, when you say favorite teams, that looks more like a ranking video as how well you think the teams are doing.
No, not how they're doing. They're the teams that, like,
Okay, so this is their ranking in order of their ability to make you interested in them.
yeah, kind of,
Okay.
basically, yeah. And now, when I say favorite teams, I really only have about 4.
I only have
teams.
one. You probably can't guess which one.
Probably not, but I'm going to rank them all
Okay.
in likeness. So we'll start off with F. These are the teams at the very bottom. So this is going to be 31 to 24. Now I'm going to tell you where these teams were ranked in my previous video.
Okay.
So you can see if they moved up or moved down.
All right.
So in last place is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, this isn't really a surprise for anyone who's watched the channel for any amount of time. It's not that I dislike Pittsburgh, it's that they've won so much in the past, or they've done so well in the past, since 2008, basically, in 10 years, going on 11 years, that I've watched them play so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched, like, Crosby's an amazing player to watch, Malkin's an amazing player to watch, but it's just too much. Like, I like to see new players and new teams and new colors and stuff. So I've just seen a little bit too much of Pittsburgh. I want to see more teams be successful in the playoffs, and that's really the only reason that they're in last place.
So their 5-game losing streak that they just broke, you were pretty happy with that.
Yeah, but they've only, as we're filming this, they've only played 15 games this season, so they've got some games in hands on lots of teams. So don't count them out.
All right.
And previously they were ranked 25th.
Okay.
So they've fallen.
Oh.
In 30th position is the Chicago Blackhawks. They were previously ranked 23rd for the exact same reason.
Okay.
Chicago won those 3 Stanley Cups in the early, I think it was 2010, 2013, 2015 or something like that.
Right.
For literally the exact same reason. There's lots of players on Chicago that I do like. It's just the fact that I've watched them play so much hockey that just, I don't really want to watch Chicago very much anymore.
So even though they're really back in the doghouse as far as their chances go, you're still, it's not enough time in the doghouse for you.
Exactly, but we're getting there, because if I do this in another year, Chicago's going to move back up my list, because they're now in the process of kind of revamping things and going through, and I like that process to see teams go through. So,
Okay.
29th, I've got the Los Angeles Kings, and previously they were in 17th, so this is a pretty big fall.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to be repetitive here, but kind of for the same reason. They just played some outstanding hockey the last, I don't know, since 2011, 12, something like that. So they've got some players that I'm not a huge fan of as well. So that's kind of dropped them down a little bit. Not a big Dustin Brown fan. But they won my heart a little bit last year in that first playoff round against Vegas. Jonathan Quick was amazing. That was some of the best hockey I think I've watched. So I definitely enjoyed watching them that series. 28th is the Philadelphia Flyers, and previously they were ranked 28th, so they didn't go up, didn't go down, stayed the same. This comes back to a bit of a Montreal rivalry. Every time that Montreal plays Philadelphia in the playoffs, Philadelphia eliminates Montreal, and it drives me crazy. And that's basically the entire reason that they're ranked 28th. I like a lot of players off Philadelphia, especially now because they've had quite a bit of turnover in the past 5 years. But that's the reason. But if I was to say, where would I like to go to watch a hockey game? I think Philadelphia would be in the top 3 for me.
Yeah, we'd have to be in disguise if we went, but it would be a good place to watch a game.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So where were they before?
28th.
28th.
They didn't move.
Okay.
27th is Boston. Okay, Montreal's going to be number 1. You already know that if you watch this channel. So, of course, Boston needs to kind of be in the F category for me.
Yeah.
Previously, they were ranked 29th. So they've actually moved up 2 spots.
Ooh.
27th now. Honestly, I hate to admit it, but there are players on Boston that I really like.
I do too.
And I don't even want to say their names because it's just I'm not supposed to because I'm a Canadiens fan, so I'm not going to say. But just Boston fans, if you watch the channel, you know who I'm talking about, and we'll leave it at that.
All right.
26th. This is we can't see it on screen because it's white, but it's the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay.
Last time they ranked 24th, so they've actually fallen a little bit. And again, I'm not going to go into detail of whatever, but it's just a repetitive factor of I've seen this team play so much, and they always eliminate Montreal except for that one year. And
that one year Bishop was hurt and Montreal swept them or something.
Yeah, that was the
just
only
a fluke anyway. Yeah.
But I really like watching Tampa Bay play.
Yeah.
They have so much talent. I like Yanni Gourde and Braden Point. I love those guys. So it's definitely a team I do like to watch.
Mm-hmm.
25th, the Ottawa Senators. Previously, they were ranked 14th. And this kind of stems back to a video that we just released recently talking about the drama in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. It's just there's so much drama in Ottawa. I just kind of don't mentally want anything to do with them right now until Eugene Melnyk is gone. He's the sole reason that I have this team ranked 25th. Once Eugene Melnyk is gone, this team will drastically move up my list because I do really like the city of Ottawa. 24th, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ooh.
Previously, they were 21st, so they've fallen a little bit. I have them in the F category because these are teams I could probably never really see myself cheering for unless there's a drastic change. Ottawa's the perfect example, or maybe the only exception with Melnyk. But all these other teams I probably really don't see myself ever truly cheering for, and Toronto is no exception. I'm really happy for them that they're doing well. They really deserve it, especially their fans. The Toronto fans really deserve to have a competitive, fun, and exciting team. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to cheer for them. It depends on who they're playing. If they're playing Boston in the playoffs, I'm going to be cheering for Toronto. Mm-hmm. If they're playing San Jose in the playoffs, I'm going to be cheering for San Jose.
The thing that gets me about Toronto, and it's not so much anything to do with the team itself, it's the market. TSN and Sportsnet. Leafsnet. It's the Toronto Sports Network. And a case in point is a game about a week and a half ago. The Montreal Canadiens came from behind and beat Washington in a thrilling game. It was a Thursday night, I think.
Yeah, it was Thursday night.
And it was a fantastic game. And when I got home from work the next day, because you always PVR Hockey Central at noon.
Yeah, and I don't even watch it anymore for the reason you're about to say.
So I thought, I want to see what they have to say. Because after that game, the Montreal-Washington game, I watched the analysis in English television. I switched over to French. I watched the Dave Morissette show en français. I watched L'Antichambre on the other channel en français to get all of the breakdown and all the analysis of that, what I thought was one of the best games I've seen in 10 years. And I thought, Hockey Central at noon is going to be great. They'll have had a whole 12 hours to digest this fantastic game. The show is an hour long. They spent the first 18 minutes on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
They spent about 3 minutes on the Calgary Flames game that was also the night before. Mm-hmm. And then they switched to basketball. They never mentioned the game once.
And that's why I don't watch the show.
It's awful. And it's because they're in the Toronto Maple Leafs market.
Yeah, I understand why they do it. They're smart to do it. But
they are, because they have,
like
in the Toronto Maple Leafs market zone, there must be 10 million people. Mm-hmm. Whereas Montreal, however much support they have across Canada, and there's probably not another team in Canada, playing out of Canada, that has more widespread appeal.
Yep, I agree.
Not deep penetration in every place, but you'll find a lot of Montreal fans in Vancouver, you'll find them in St. John's, you'll find them in Timmins, you'll find them in Moose Jaw, you'll find them in Sydney, Nova Scotia. They're all across the country, and I don't think you can say the same about Toronto. But as a national team, Montreal really, I think, has more of a national appeal than Toronto. Yet on CBC on Saturday nights, which is the only network available over the air for Canadians from coast to coast, every time it's the Toronto game. and they park the Montreal game on some obscure cable channel somewhere that you can't get unless you have the super duper package. And I think it's disgusting that they do that. And for that reason, I want the people who make these corporate decisions to feel it in their wallet.
Oh.
And that's why I support your, as much as I think it's time for Toronto to win a cup. And
I do
feel
too.
so bad for the fans of Toronto. And I really do want them to have something to cheer for in the very near future. As much as I want all that for the people, the hockey people on the ground level, for the corporate decision making and all that, I hope they lose their money.
Me too.
Boom.
Well said. I
Bang.
couldn't have said it any better. So that's it for the
Whew.
F.
I feel so much better now.
You just want a little bit of a rant there.
Yeah. Rant mode. I was triggered.
You were triggered. The D category, these are teams that I wouldn't say that I like, but I could see myself liking in the future
All right.
if some things happened.
All right.
So in 23rd is the Arizona Coyotes. Previously, they were ranked 18th. This is a team that has never really been successful whatsoever. They had that one year that I think they came top of their division and won one playoff series. Or I don't even remember. So long ago, I don't remember. I think it was like 2011. But this is a different team a little bit now. They have actual potential. They have good goaltending. They have some awesome young players that are going to be great for the franchise. This team is headed in a direction that I really, really enjoy and like. Still not crazy on their location. I think there's better hockey markets out there. No offense, Arizona Coyotes fans, but I can see this team moving up my list in the future. But for right now, I've put them at 23rd.
Okay.
22nd, the New Jersey Devils. Previously, they were ranked 30th. And if you look at the New Jersey Devils from 2 years ago, almost when I made that first video, to now, the team is completely different. I think when I made that first video, I think Martin Brodeur was still on the team. And he had gone to St. Louis for a bit, and now he's not even in the NHL. But
Yeah.
this team has completely been revamped. Like it's so exciting to watch this team. I really, really like New Jersey. They're not that boring trap style team from the 90s that we saw in the early 2000s that just shut teams down. It was just such boring hockey to watch. It's a new team, it's a new system, it's a new structure, new players, new coaching staff, and I really like to watch this team play. And we got to see them play live last preseason in Summerside.
We did. And it was
awesome.
something to watch.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was cool.
Brodeur's in the Hall of Fame. By the time this airs,
Yes.
he'll be in the Hall of Fame. So
That's right.
that's how long it's been.
Yeah, that's it.
He's had enough time to retire and then qualify for the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. And 21st is the Edmonton Oilers. They were previously ranked 11th. I usually don't cheer for teams that have like generational superstars. That's why I never cheered for Pittsburgh in 2006 when Crosby first started playing. And I just don't like everybody's all about McDavid, and that's great. He's amazing. He is an incredible player, but I just don't like. I like the underdog, and to me, Edmonton's not really. I can't cheer for Edmonton anymore because they're not the underdog because they have that elite McDavid player, and that's really why they're as low as they are. Other than that, there's a lot of players I like on Edmonton, and I like the city, but that's that.
All right.
Number 20 is the Anaheim Ducks. They were previously ranked 12th. I really enjoyed watching Anaheim when Saku Koivu left Montreal and went to go play for Anaheim. I never liked Anaheim before that, and because he went there, I started to watch Anaheim quite a bit. They moved way up my list of teams that I liked, and then once he left, now they're starting to go back down teams, and that's the only reason. Rickard Rakell is one of my favorite players in the league. I like Gibson. Corey Perry is. I like the style of game he plays. He's an agitator and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that you're not a big fan, but
I'm not a fan of Corey Perry, but yeah, I get it.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Number 19 is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Previously, they were ranked 16th. I don't really have a lot to say about Columbus because they haven't really changed a lot since the last time I made this video. They are still a fun team to watch. They've had some transition of players and stuff, but not enough for me to get excited about because I think any players that they did get, like Panarin, is likely going to leave the team soon.
Yeah.
And Bobrovsky's potentially going to leave the team soon as well, or maybe he'll sign. We don't know. So I don't really have anything negative to say, but I don't really have anything positive to say. So they're just in that middle ground.
All right.
The Florida Panthers, ranked 18th. Previously, they were ranked 7th. Now, when I made that first original video, Gerard Gallant was still the coach of the Florida Panthers. You know, he lives where we do, and where he's from, where we are in Prince Edward Island. And I was pretty high on Florida at the time. They were moving way up my list. I loved the direction that they were going. And then it all went downhill after Gerard Gallant.
Yep.
That whole thing. So that's why they're down there. And I don't see them really moving up past that. Number 17, the Vancouver Canucks. Previously, they were 20th. Vancouver is one of those teams, kind of like New Jersey. They've had Vancouver had the Sedins for so long, and some other players, just like almost, not generational players, but players that never really played for a lot of other teams. Like, they've been with Vancouver their entire career, and now those players have kind of moved on, and we're seeing a new youth generation or new youth movement here in Vancouver. And it's fun. It's a fun team to watch. They're just a completely different team than they were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I really like that. So that's why they're starting to move up my list.
Cool.
Number 16 is the Washington Capitals. Previously, they were ranked 8th. Now, I've always said when a team that I like wins the Stanley Cup, they will move down my list. Because I always like to cheer for underdogs.
Yeah.
Washington was the perfect example of an underdog because... Well, not really, because they always came first in the...
Yeah, they did well.
Whatever, but they were the underdog when they played Pittsburgh.
They got the yips in the playoffs.
Yeah. So the fact that they actually won a cup, congratulations. I was so happy, but now they're moving down my list to 16th. Still a fan of Ovechkin, though. Okay, that's it for D teams.
Your D ratings.
C, I've got 5 teams here. These are teams that have made significant jumps in rankings a little bit, except for one team. So in 15th is Detroit. They were previously ranked 26th.
Whoa.
That's a pretty drastic jump.
That's a huge jump.
And I never really liked Detroit because, for the same reason I didn't like Chicago and Pittsburgh, they were just always competitive. Detroit's been kind of the underdog team the past 2.5 years or so.
I think more than that.
Yeah, and now they made the playoffs for like 26 straight years or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now they're a new team, new young players. I love the direction they're going. I love some of their players. And then now they're moving back up my list. So, good stuff. Nashville, this is the abnormality in my C ranking, but they're ranked 14th. They were previously ranked 15th. So this team hasn't really moved a lot. I really, really liked them when they were entering the playoffs of the previous season, when they were the underdog in 8th. And I followed them intensely in that run all the way up. But then there were so many Nashville fans that were created because of that run. Now Nashville is such a huge hockey market. I kind of not as...
They don't need you as much.
They don't need me. Yeah, they don't need my love. So
yeah. And they're doing okay without it. They're right now the best team in the league. So
they're not hurting for love. So 13th is the Islanders, and previously they were ranked 9th, so they dropped out of the top 10.
What the heck?
It's just that they can't get their crap together. Like
they can't say they're not underdogs.
Well, they are now a little bit with Tavares. Right. But they can't. Like they can't get consistent goaltending. They remind me of Philadelphia a little bit. Now they're really starting to actually play pretty good. Yeah. The younger players are really gelling and really having a lot of chemistry and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But still, they kind of moved down my list a little bit.
All right.
Number 12, the New York Rangers.
So you've got the Rangers higher than the Islanders in your favorite list.
I do, for one reason, and I'll tell you. They were previously ranked 19th, so pretty significant jump up to 12th.
Yeah.
I love New York City.
Well,
the more
do
time
too.
I spend away from New York City, the more I love this team, which makes no sense. But I get nostalgic when I think about New York City, and I want to go back there. And why shouldn't I like a hockey team from my favorite city in the world?
But the Islanders play in Brooklyn right now.
But Brooklyn's not my favorite city.
Brooklyn is a borough of New York City. It's part of New York City.
No, New York City is Manhattan.
Oh, okay. That's a whole different topic.
My favorite city in the world is Manhattan.
Okay. So your favorite borough is Manhattan.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Okay.
And that's really all it comes down to.
I guess it would be mine too, as far as boroughs. I still would prefer the Islanders over the Rangers. If the Islanders and the Rangers play each other in a playoff series, I'm cheering for the Islanders hardcore.
Depends on who's the underdog for me, I think.
Yeah, that'd be Islanders all the way.
Number 11 is the Minnesota Wild.
All right.
Previously ranked 6th.
Ooh.
pretty significant drop. And
What have they done to earn your wrath?
honestly, they haven't really done anything. It's just other teams have earned my praise a little bit to move up past them.
Okay.
So them falling isn't really their fault. It's more the fault of other teams doing better as far as likeness.
All right.
But I've always liked the colors of Minnesota. I like Mikko Koivu a lot because Saku Koivu is my favorite player, so I really follow his brother a lot, Mikko Koivu. They don't really have that superstar like McDavid or Crosby or whatever. It's always been a team that's been pretty deep across the four lines and has really had contributions from everyone. And I like that about a team. If Devin Dubnyk could be consistent, then I would like this team a lot more, I think. The playoffs, they have not had that great of success, and it's time for that to change. Hopefully this year. That is all for C teams.
Okay. Now we're in the B range.
We are in the B range.
Okay.
B just means, I don't know, not my favorite, but close. I don't know. So,
All right.
and it ranked 10th is the Vegas Golden Knights, previously ranked 31st. Now, when I made that video, the original video, they didn't even exist yet. All we knew was what their logo would look like, I think, and maybe the team name. I don't think I had saw the jersey at that point or anything like that. Like they weren't even announced barely. Like I didn't even know a player on the roster. So that's why they were 31st. I think I said in that original video, like, you don't even exist yet. How can I rank you above any other team that exists?
Yeah.
But anyways, as some of you know, or maybe most of you, I spent 3 weeks down in Vegas in late May, early June during the playoffs. I had an incredible experience down there. That skyrocketed my love for Vegas all the way up to 10th. Most people, I think, thought that maybe they'd get in the top 4.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of Pacioretty. And because he joined the team, that knocked the team down a little bit.
I'm trying to figure that out.
What do you mean?
Well, you're going to throw shade on the whole team because one guy just appeared that you don't care for?
Yep.
Okay, it's your show.
No, I truthfully, they'll probably move up my list a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to see another season from them before I make it my final determination.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, the Calgary Flames, previously ranked 10th, so they move up one slot. This is a team that's had a lot of transition in the past couple of years as well. I love Johnny Gaudreau. He's a magician with the puck. I've always kind of pictured Calgary as an underdog in the past 15 years. I really like underdogs. I love their colors. I love Calgary. It's probably my favorite Canadian city. That probably hurts you because you're from Montreal and stuff, but I love Calgary. Spent lots of time there. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
Number 8, the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
I said this before the season started, that I'm going to follow Buffalo intensely this year, and I have. I've watched every single Buffalo Sabres game that I was able to watch, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. When they were playing Ottawa last weekend,
Yeah.
we beat them 9-2.
Yeah.
It was great because this is the exact Buffalo Sabres team that they needed, that this city needed forever. They were previously ranked 22nd in my previous one. Now they're ranked 8th, and man, this team is like the game. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was a perfect example of a Buffalo team. Or the Buffalo team.
They played Vancouver.
They played Vancouver and came back in that game. Showed resiliency. It was awesome. It's exactly what I was hoping that the team would be.
They scored 2 goals in the last 2.5 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about,
That was
Buffalo.
awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
Now that 9-2 win, did you see the pregame ceremony for that?
I did not.
They honored Jason Pominville for his 1000th NHL game.
Oh, yes. Okay, right.
And they had Pominville and his whole family out on the ice. And remember when Montreal honored Plekanec a couple of weeks ago and they gave him a silver hockey stick? Mm-hmm. You know what they gave Pominville? A sword. A silver sword.
A saber.
A saber, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
It
was well done.
Good
It
move.
was very well done. It was a great game. I watched that game too. It was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really high on Buffalo right now. I love an underdog. I've said that like 4 times in this video, but they are the perfect example of an underdog. I really hope they make the playoffs this year and do well.
All right.
Number 7, the Winnipeg Jets. I said in a video roughly the same time I released this original video is what Canadian teams can be the next team to win the Stanley Cup. And I said it's going to be the Winnipeg Jets. And it almost happened last year, but I really like the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know if there's a player on Winnipeg that I don't like. And I could go around the league and pick players off every single team that I'm not really a big fan of him, not a big fan of him. Even my own favorite team, Montreal.
Sure. Yeah.
I can pick players off I don't like. I don't think I can say the same for Winnipeg. I like every player off Winnipeg. And I just like what they do, and I like how they do it. And I got to see them play live last year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Number 6, Carolina Hurricanes. This is not really a shock. I said this, I think, at the beginning of last season that I'm really going to start to watch Carolina. What I said about Buffalo this year, I said about Carolina last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really high in Carolina last year. Still am. But Buffalo and Carolina are kind of my two big underdog teams that I'm cheering for.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun watching Carolina.
And Buffalo's done well. Carolina's quite a bit slower out of the gate. The season is young, but they've been I'd say a little bit disappointing so far, but a lot of promise.
Yep, definitely.
Great future. Yeah.
Number 5, the St. Louis Blues. Did I give... Carolina was ranked 6th. They were previously ranked 27th. I'm not sure if I said that or not.
I don't think you did. That's
the
big jump.
That's the biggest jump of all teams. St. Louis, 5th, previously ranked 4th. They've fallen out of my A category of my favorite teams. Inconsistent. The inconsistency of the St. Louis Blues has driven them away from my top teams. And that's honestly what it comes down to. Still like the team, still like the players. Jake Allen's my favorite player, but they lost me a little bit.
Yeah, they're so hot and cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
all right.
my A teams. Want to get a guess?
I'm trying to do a process of elimination in my
4.
head. Well, I know one of them.
We'll start with number 4.
Okay.
Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, right.
Ranked 4th,
them.
previously ranked 5th.
Yeah.
Whenever they had that really crappy year, and then they came back last year and had the amazing, resilient season, made the playoffs, almost took down Nashville, and then this year playing so well. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy for Colorado. I'm glad that I got to keep them up in my top teams. If you're new to the channel, you don't know this, but I said this in the previous version of this video. When Patrick Waugh left Montreal back in the 90s and went to Colorado, Colorado became my favorite team for like 6 or 8 years because I was such a huge Patrick Waugh fan. Mm-hmm. So I've always been a fan of the Colorado Avalanche. They've always been up there for me and still remain up there.
Cool. Well, I know Montreal and San Jose haven't been picked yet, so you've got 3 left, and I've got 2. I'm thinking of 2. So Montreal and San Jose. Montreal's going to be number 1. So the next team's either going to be San Jose, which would be a surprise because they used to be number 2, or maybe still are. Then the other team we haven't talked about is Dallas.
They have not moved. Dallas was my number 3 last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe number 4. Yeah, they were number 3 last year. They're number 3 this year.
All right.
That has not changed. One of my good friends, Fro, lives in Dallas, sent me my Dallas hat, got me interested in the team, started to watch a ton of Dallas. And now I love Dallas. There's so many players on that team that I love, and I hope I get to see them play live soon.
Is that OT Park cheers for too? Or?
Yep. Number 2, San Jose Sharks. No, there's no shock here. San Jose Sharks have been my second favorite team since 2010. I wanted to pick one team on the West to cheer for as much as I cheer for as the Canadiens. Although I say that no team I'm never gonna cheer for a team more than the Canadiens. Unless they win the Stanley Cup.
Don't.
Yes.
Don't.
Yes.
So if they win the Stanley Cup, they're not going to be your favorite team any longer.
That's correct. And number 1, Montreal Canadiens. There's nothing really to say. Anyone who's been watching the channel for a while knows that Montreal Canadiens are my favorite team. You were born and raised in Montreal.
I was.
I was not, but
I was born 6.5 miles from center ice at the Montreal Forum. Exactly.
I was raised to cheer for the Canadiens by him. It was either that or sleep outside in the ditch. So I chose the Canadiens.
That's what it had to be. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I've always been a Canadiens fan.
Yeah.
Will remain. So.
And I got it the same way. My dad was a big fan of the Montreal Canadiens and knew people in the organization when we lived there because he had corporate dealings with them. And so it was more than just a distant team that you cheered for. It's a team that you knew. You had players living nearby, in my case. Phil Goyette, by the way, who's now 85 years old, still lives in the same house he lived in just down the street when I lived there. He's still there.
Wow.
And someone from The Athletic actually interviewed him last week.
That's amazing.
He gave a great interview. So
good stuff.
Yeah, Montreal Canadiens. and anyone who used to hate the Montreal Canadiens because they won all the time, yeah, those days are over. So you can come back a little bit.
Exactly.
They can come up your list too.
Speaking of your lists,
Yeah.
please leave them below in the comment section. I'd really like to read through your lists of teams, and more specifically, if you got a team, like if you want to list all 31, that's awesome. But if you got a team in like 7th or 8th or 6th or something like that, and you want to put in brackets why this team is there, maybe it's a team that's really jumped up your list lately. Maybe it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, and previously you hated the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now they're second on your list. Tell me why a team has jumped up your list of favorite teams, or maybe vice versa. Tell me why a team has dropped down your list. I'd be interested to know.
Do you think I have any team that I like other than Montreal? Because I do. I have a couple that
I know you like Nashville.
I do. I like Nashville. I like Vegas.
You like the Islanders.
I like the Islanders, and I like Calgary. I think those would be the teams that, if Montreal can't do it, I'd like to see one of those teams do it. But
do it.
Yeah. But I really like the Islanders. I love what I'm seeing out of Calgary this year.
Yeah.
They're hot and cold a little bit too, or at least they were last year. This year they're more hot than cold, and they've got some really good talent on the team now, and they're the comeback kids, just like Montreal's been a couple of times, and there's been a few other teams that are good in comebacks. Calgary has been doing that a bit, so it's all good.
This video will get views 9 months from now. It'll get views 12 months from now. So some of the stuff that we've said in this video won't have any relation to what's going on in hockey when you watch it potentially in a year from now.
Yeah.
So apologize for that a little bit, but
yeah, this is mid-November 2018. In case you can't see, if you're watching it on your Roku or something, and they don't give you the date.
Yeah, we're filming this on Remembrance Day, November 11th.
Yeah, Veterans Day in the States.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I know it was a long video, and I know you guys, some of you have been waiting quite a bit for me to re-release this, my list. But I'll do this again in a year from now. I'll try to do it almost exactly a year from now. I'll try to do this once a year.
Okay.
And that means that you need to update your list, because it's been over a year since you did yours.
Indeed it has.
You did yours last summer.
Really?
Yep.
Like summer of 2017?
Summer of 2017, August, actually.
Wow. I'm a delinquent.
You are a delinquent, yes.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Subscribe if you're not already. That would be awesome if you could go down and hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Adios.